Alan Price was born on April 19, 1942, in Fatfield, County Durham, England. Growing up in a working-class family, Price was surrounded by the everyday sounds of post-war Britain, an environment that deeply shaped his musical sensitivity. From an early age, he showed a strong interest in music, particularly the piano and organ. Unlike many musicians of his generation who were first drawn to the guitar, Price was fascinated by keyboards, an instrument that would later define his signature sound. As a teenager, he was heavily influenced by American blues, jazz, and rhythm and blues records that were slowly making their way into the UK. Artists such as Jimmy Smith, Ray Charles, and Fats Domino left a lasting impression on him. Price spent countless hours practicing, teaching himself to recreate the soulful tones he heard on those records. His technical skill combined with emotional expression made him stand out among local musicians. During his school years, Price began performing in small venues and clubs, gaining confidence as a live performer. These early performances helped him understand the power of music as a form of storytelling and emotional connection. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, he had become an active part of the Newcastle music scene, which was quickly becoming a hub for emerging talent. This environment set the stage for the next major chapter of his life, forming a band that would soon change British rock music forever. In the early 1960s, Alan Price became a founding member of the band that would later be known as the Animals. Originally formed in Newcastle, the group included Eric Burdon as the lead singer, along with other talented local musicians. Price's role as the keyboardist was central to the band's sound, setting them apart from many guitar-focused rock groups of the era. The Animals drew heavily from American blues and folk traditions, but they performed these songs with a raw, aggressive energy that felt distinctly British. Alan Price's organ playing, particularly on the Vox Continental organ, became one of the band's defining elements. His dramatic, rolling chords added depth and intensity to their arrangements, giving the music a darker and more emotional tone. The band quickly built a reputation for powerful live performances, often playing in clubs where audiences were captivated by their intensity. Price's musical knowledge helped shape the band's arrangements, as he had a strong understanding of harmony and structure. This made him not just a performer, but also a key creative force within the group. As the Animals gained popularity, they began recording music that would soon reach an international audience. Their dedication to authentic blues-inspired music, combined with Price's distinctive keyboard sound, laid the foundation for their breakthrough success. This period marked the beginning of Alan Price's rise to global recognition. The Animals achieved worldwide fame with their 1964 recording of the traditional folk song, The House of the Rising Sun. This track became one of the most iconic songs of the British invasion, and Alan Price's contribution was absolutely crucial. The haunting organ introduction, played by Price, immediately set the mood and became instantly recognizable. Price adapted the song's structure and created the organ arrangement that transformed a traditional folk tune into a dramatic rock anthem. His choice of minor chords and sustained organ notes gave the song a sense of mystery and emotional weight. The recording reached #1 on the charts in both the United Kingdom and the United States, launching the Animals into international stardom. However, success also brought tension within the band. Disputes arose over songwriting credits and financial arrangements, particularly concerning The House of the Rising Sun. These issues caused frustration and strained relationships among the members. For Price, the situation highlighted the challenges of balancing artistic contribution with business realities in the music industry. Despite the conflicts, the song cemented Alan Price's place in music history. His organ work became a reference point for future keyboard players and proved that keyboards could be just as powerful as guitars in rock music. This breakthrough moment would influence the direction of his career, both within and beyond the Animals. In 1965, Alan Price made the difficult decision to leave the Animals at the height of their success. Several factors contributed to this choice, including ongoing disputes over money, songwriting credits, and the pressures of constant touring. Price also suffered from a fear of flying, which made international tours particularly stressful for him. His departure marked a major turning point in his career. While leaving a successful band carried significant risk, it also gave Price the freedom to explore his own musical interests without compromise. Unlike many musicians who struggle after leaving a popular group, Price was determined to establish himself as a solo artist with a distinct identity. The Animals continued with different lineups after his exit, but many fans and critics felt that Price's absence changed the character of the band's sound. His sophisticated keyboard style and musical direction had been central to their earlier success. For Alan Price, leaving the band was not an end, but a beginning. It allowed him to move away from the intense blues rock style and experiment with a wider range of genres, including pop, jazz, and orchestral music. This period of transition would soon lead to new creative achievements and further recognition as a versatile and independent musician. After leaving the Animals, Alan Price launched a successful solo career that showcased his versatility as a musician and songwriter. He formed the Alan Price Set, a group that allowed him to experiment with different styles while still maintaining a strong keyboard-driven sound. This phase of his career demonstrated his desire to grow beyond the boundaries of traditional rock music. Price achieved solo hits such as I Put a Spell on You and Hi Lily, Hi Low, which highlighted his ability to reinterpret songs with emotional depth and originality. His arrangements were often more polished and sophisticated, reflecting his background in jazz and classical influences. Unlike the raw intensity of the Animals, his solo work had a more refined and melodic quality. He also became known for his charismatic stage presence and distinctive voice. As a solo artist, Price had greater control over his music, from composition to production. This independence allowed him to build a loyal audience that appreciated his artistic integrity. During this period, Alan Price proved that he was not defined solely by his earlier band success. Instead, he established himself as a respected solo performer, capable of evolving with changing musical trends while staying true to his roots. His solo career reinforced his reputation as one of the most talented keyboardists of his generation. In addition to his work as a recording artist, Alan Price made significant contributions to film and television music. One of his most notable achievements was composing the soundtrack for the 1971 film Oh Lucky Man, directed by Lindsay Anderson. The soundtrack played a crucial role in the film's narrative and atmosphere. Price not only composed the music, but also appeared in the film, performing songs that commented directly on the story. This innovative approach blurred the line between soundtrack and storytelling, making the music an active part of the film rather than just background accompaniment. The Oh Lucky Man soundtrack was highly praised and earned Price critical acclaim, including a BAFTA Award for Best Film Music. This recognition highlighted his skill as a composer and his ability to adapt his musical style to different artistic mediums. His work in film and television demonstrated a new dimension of his creativity. It showed that Alan Price was not limited to the stage or recording studio, but could also succeed in more complex, narrative-driven projects. This period expanded his artistic legacy and introduced his music to new audiences beyond the traditional rock scene. As the music industry evolved, Alan Price continued to adapt and remain relevant. In the later stages of his career, he released albums that reflected maturity, reflection, and a deep understanding of musical tradition. His later work often combined elements of rock, blues, jazz, and orchestral arrangements. Price also reunited with members of the Animals on select occasions, participating in reunion tours and special performances. These events were warmly received by fans and served as a reminder of the lasting impact of the band's original lineup. Beyond his own recordings, Price's influence could be heard in the work of many younger musicians. His approach to keyboard playing inspired generations of artists who saw him as proof that keyboards could be central to rock music. His blend of technical skill and emotional expression became a model for aspiring performers. Even as trends changed, Alan Price remained respected for his authenticity and dedication to music. His continued presence in the industry reinforced his status as a pioneering figure whose contributions extended far beyond a single era or genre. Throughout his career, Alan Price received numerous awards and honors that recognized his contributions to music. His induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Animals was a major milestone, acknowledging the band's influence on rock history. Critics and historians often highlight Price's role in bringing the organ to the forefront of rock music. His work helped redefine the sound of the 1960s and influence the direction of the British invasion. Songs featuring his organ playing remain widely studied and admired. Price's legacy is not limited to commercial success. He is remembered for his artistic integrity and willingness to take creative risks. Whether through his solo work, Alan Price's life and career represent a powerful story of creativity, courage, and lasting influence. From his early beginnings in a small town in England to becoming an internationally respected musician, Price consistently followed his own artistic path. He was never content with simply repeating past success. Instead, he chose growth, experimentation, and artistic honesty. As a founding member of the Animals, Alan Price helped shape one of the most important sounds of the British invasion. His organ work on songs like The House of the Rising Sun changed how keyboards were viewed in rock music, proving they could be just as expressive and dominant as guitars. This contribution alone secured his place in music history. However, Price's legacy goes far beyond one famous band or song. His solo career demonstrated independence and versatility, while his work in film music showed his ability to combine sound with storytelling. Winning awards and critical praise, he proved himself not only as a performer, but also as a thoughtful composer. Alan Price is remembered as an artist who valued creativity over comfort and integrity over fame. His influence can still be heard in modern music, and his work continues to inspire musicians around the world. In the end, Alan Price stands as a timeless figure whose passion and originality left a permanent mark on the world of music.